We're recording. Hi.
Hello.
I'm Tim. We always start weird. Okay. Hi, I'm Tim from Precarious Pixels.
Hi, I'm Bob, and hopefully that last part wasn't edited out.
Oh, it'll stay in. It all stays in.
It's awesome.
So, hope you had a happy 4th of July.
Yeah, patriotism.
That's right. God bless it. All of it. And we're here to talk to you about our stuff and your stuff. And, man, I'm starting this really weird.
You are.
I know. Sorry.
This is the awkward cast.
It is. We start off awkward, but then we get into it. And as always, we're going to talk movies, pop culture stuff coming out. We're going to talk a little bit of a controversy with something that happened with the New York Times and Batman. They finally revealed that he's Bruce Wayne.
Oh, man.
I know. Secret identity's out there. But first we're going to talk about a recent movie that you just saw. It's called Sicario.
I think it's pronounced Sicario.
Sicario, if you're a gringo. But you saw the second Sicario. Actually, did it have a subtitle?
It did. It was Day of the Soldado.
Oh.
I don't know what Soldado means.
Okay.
Just so you know.
All right.
Good
That's
luck
fine.
with that. You might be dead. It would, but I think that's Marte.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe Day of the Sun, Soul,
No.
Right? Probably should have looked it up.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
That's okay.
It's recorded now.
I know. Everybody's gonna know.
Yep, they're all gonna know that I don't speak Spanish.
That's okay. But this had the Benicio del Toro.
Benicio.
Yeah.
Benicio.
I thought it was Benicio.
No, it's Benicio del Toro.
Benicio.
He was. It's him and Josh Brolin.
Yeah.
Soldier.
Oh.
Soldier. I could have Googled it
I know.
beforehand, but now I Googled it now. So, Sicario, which means assassin or hitman, Day of the Soldier.
Okay.
Which is a weird title in English, which is why I'm kind of glad they kept that in Spanish. Because in English, if you just called it Hitman Day of the Soldier, people would be very confused.
Well, there's been weirder names. They made a movie called Ninja Assassin, which is basically just assassin. Ninja means assassin.
But it's a great movie.
It is.
More for gringos, I'm sure.
Yes. For everybody.
I love that movie.
Yeah, that movie's a lot of
Those
fun.
throwing stars in that car.
Yeah, throwing star bullet time.
God, and when he messes up the guys at the beginning in like the tattoo parlor.
Oh yeah, yeah, that was good.
I guess what we're trying to say is, watch Ninja Assassin.
Made by the Matrix guys.
Was it?
I think they produced it.
Okay, that makes sense. This is some slow mo.
Yeah.
Man, that poor kid's feet though.
Oh yeah. There's some weird child abuse things going on in that movie.
And that's how they trained. Anyway, so Sicario 2, I can't really spoil anything relating to the first one yet because Tim hasn't seen it, but I will make it nice and easy. There's a reason why Josh Brolin... Well, actually, I can set this up because it doesn't have anything to do with the first one.
Okay.
At the beginning of the movie, there are people caught crossing the border from Mexico into the U.S.
Right.
By a helicopter.
Okay.
One of those guys starts to run, stops, sits down, and pulls out it's called a hand trigger. And just sets himself off along with some of the agents nearby him.
Wow.
The next scene, that same thing happens in America in a grocery store with like 4 guys.
Wow.
They just walk in and blow themselves up. Now they're Middle Eastern.
Okay.
So like the theory behind the beginning of the movie is that they're getting into America through the southern border. So Josh Brolin is going to find a way to stop that, and he thinks the way to stop that is by essentially going to war with human trafficking, because human trafficking is more lucrative to the cartels at that point, apparently. I guess is real.
Yeah.
Than actual drug trafficking.
Yeah. I've actually heard stuff of it's like one this is horrible, but like one person they can make like over $100,000 off of, rather than like the drug where it's like they have to keep trying to get that in. Once the person is in, that's like consider that like they get more money that way.
Yeah,
it's horrible.
What they need to do is traffic people carrying drugs. Maybe just make it easier.
They do that too.
So don't use that.
Yeah.
Cartel.
I'm sure you don't have to tell them.
They probably thought it through.
The cartels are not listening to our podcast and be like, "Oh man, that's a great idea."
Not after hearing me pronounce the name of this movie.
Thanks, Tim and Bob.
Gracias.
Gracias. They're not. Yeah, they're not listening to us.
But Josh Brolin has some extreme tactics that he decides to utilize, and that's kind of what his character is. He's the extreme tactics guy. If you want to go to war and you want to fight dirty, you bring him in.
All right.
And that's the plot to the first movie as well as the plot to the second. And he has a guy that he utilizes for that, who's Benicio del Toro.
Right.
And that is the plot of the movie, and man, is it intense. It's really good. I didn't think they'd be able to maintain the level of nerve-wracking that the first one creates.
Oh, wow.
But, wow.
Okay.
It's rough. It's not afraid to showcase some extreme stuff.
Okay.
For a reason.
All right, so I shouldn't watch it with my my younger siblings or anything like that.
You don't watch it with kids?
Yeah.
But
my nieces and nephews wouldn't like it.
Probably not, but it's a really good movie. I strongly recommend it. There's one thing I didn't like, but I can't talk about it until you see it.
Alright.
Because it would spoil a lot. But there's one thing where I was just like, oh, did that need to? And then it kind of does.
Okay.
It kind of needs to happen, but it doesn't really need to happen, because this could have happened differently. But nonetheless, the point of the first one and the second one is that in order to fight a battle like this,
right?
In the first one, it's the cartel. It's like it's an endlessly losing battle, right? So how do you win?
Right.
Extreme tactics, which is why we'll never win a drug war, because I don't think we're that extreme.
We aren't,
and I don't know that we necessarily care as much as the government pretends to.
Right.
And then the second one was terrorism.
But isn't that almost...
And then it changes.
Okay.
Because that's just the onset for why.
Okay.
And then it becomes back to cartels.
Okay.
But, man, it's a good movie. See it. See the first one and then see the second one. If you didn't see the first one, then what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you, Tim?
I don't know what's wrong with me. I should have seen the first one. I actually had heard how good that movie was, and it's definitely been on my list of things to watch, but I really haven't gotten there.
You know who made it?
Who made it?
Denis Villeneuve?
No, he didn't. Is it Denis Villeneuve? Blade Runner's 2049?
Yep. Let me see if I can... Oh, look at that! I pulled it up on the Google.
Oh, that makes sense. I mean, he's an amazing filmmaker.
And Prisoners.
Well, Prisoners I knew about. But
yeah, this was...
Did he make both of them? He made both of them?
What? No, not the second one. The first one.
Okay, I think I did hear about...
I probably told you.
I think you did tell me.
He's consistently good movies.
Yeah, I think you had said he had made the first Sicario, and I was like, oh, I should check that out. But then I forgot.
And they're different. Arrival is nothing like Blade Runner.
Oh, nothing.
And they're both sci-fi, but they're nothing related. Yeah. And then Sicario is nothing like Prisoners.
Right.
It's just he's versatile. It's not Quentin Tarantino where you're going to see an action comedy.
Yeah, and you're always there's going to be some sort of Mexican standoff in some way or another.
Yeah. I mean, you could say that it's a little different because, there's a From Dusk Till Dawn for...
Right.
But I would say this is one of the few directors I've seen that's so versatile.
Yeah, he's really amazing. And I think he's going to do... I think we had talked about it. He's going to do a Dune movie, TV series, I'm not sure. And honestly, that is kind of a losing battle because it's a weird book. It's an even weirder movie to try to make.
Well, if anybody can do it.
If anybody could do it, I actually believe he could do it, and it'll probably be beautiful and amazing and make no money. But I hope he gives it a go. But he didn't do Sicario too.
No, it was a different guy.
Okay.
And then there was another character who wasn't back from the first one as well.
Okay.
Which I'm not going to say.
Okay, well, don't tell me. But the stuff you can tell me, acting wise, just as good.
Yeah, everybody's really solid. There's moments in this one which are similar to actually Blade Runner, which we talked about last week.
Yeah.
Where you actually are misled by the actors, and they mislead other people.
Okay.
But they do it so well that it doesn't matter.
Right.
Like it's you could believe it.
Right.
I can't. I would ruin it for you if I went any further with it.
Okay. All right.
So good.
Yeah.
Except for that one moment.
And you said not just returning actors, but you said Catherine Keener's in it.
Yeah, Catherine Keener's in it. Jeffrey Donovan from Burn Notice.
Right.
And then that one guy whose name I don't know. He was in a billion movies. He was the Steve Buscemi's brother in Boardwalk Empire.
Right.
He's been in everything.
Right.
He's always like an army guy typically, even though he's slightly overweight.
All right.
I feel like I'm trying to remember what I had seen him in recently where he was an army guy, and I was like, that's weird.
Okay.
Why are you always an army guy?
I don't know. Maybe he gets typecast. It just happens.
He might.
But you're recommending it? You're saying a definite watch?
Yes. See them both.
See them both?
See them both. And I wasn't sure because I knew it was a different guy making it.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't sure if I'd want to see a sequel or if I'd like a sequel, but
right.
I went out on a ledge and I saw it.
Okay.
Which is weird because we talked about another movie a few weeks ago where I went out on a limb and saw it even though I wanted to.
Right.
And I probably had less faith in that one. And it was awful. And that was Ocean's 8. And it had nothing to do with my faith. It was just, did we talk about that on the podcast?
I don't know if we did or not. I don't think we talked Ocean's 8.
It's bad.
I think maybe we did. But I think that was just enough. It was not good.
It's bad, and it's bad in ways that there's spoilers for why it's bad.
Okay.
Are you ever going to watch it?
Maybe not. I don't know.
Then I don't want to ruin it for you.
Okay.
But there's a twist that the only reason the twist exists is because
there's always a twist in Ocean's movies, or
it's not even that. Because that twist makes no sense for that. The twist is not. The twist has nothing to do with the bad guy.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with the reason for what they're doing. Mm-hmm. It actively works against the plan.
Okay.
For everybody involved.
Gotcha.
So there's no reason for it. The end.
Wow.
There's the twist. The only reason it's there is because of the message that the movie is trying to convey politically, in my opinion.
Okay.
And I might be wrong, but I really don't think I am in this particular scenario because the whole thing from the beginning was right. Like this movie's built around, hey, it's a team of women, and they're gonna destroy, this movie by stealing all this cool stuff. Like they're gonna Ocean's 11 it, and I was like, cool, it's okay. Good. I don't like that cast. I said from the beginning I didn't like that cast. Sandra Bullock is great.
Yeah.
Anne Hathaway is great.
Mm-hmm.
Kate Blanchett is great. Mindy Kaling?
I like her stuff.
She's awful in the movie.
Yeah, just might not be her role.
She's just bad. She's really bad in this movie. Don't put her in anything serious.
Okay. But, I've seen a lot of not a lot of, but I've seen a good portion of the Mindy Kaling project. And it's actually, or I think it's just called the Mindy Project.
It might be.
Yeah. But it's good. She writes it, and it's funny. I mean, she wrote some of the best episodes of The Office. The Office. So, I
don't
like
know.
her.
This movie was not her
Just
role.
not a good movie.
And Rihanna was fine. I mean,
Okay.
she was there, but she's Rihanna,
Right.
right?
Battleships Rihanna.
Yeah, I forgot who even else was. Oh, and Mrs. Burton was in it too. Helena Bonham Carter.
Helen Bonham Carter, and what's her name? Just can't remember her name right now.
I have no idea. Are you talking
Funny.
about the Asian girl?
No. Saturday Night Live.
Oh, Kristen Wiig.
Kristen Wiig, yeah. I couldn't think of her name.
Underutilized Kristen Wiig should be her name.
She was not, like, they didn't use her enough?
They put her in it.
See, that stinks, because she's actually funny.
But it wasn't Kristen Wiig.
I thought it was Kristen Wiig.
It wasn't. It's interesting, because I probably would have made that same mistake. It was the girl from the American Horror Story, the one who's in every season, and then the O.J.
Sarah
Simpson
Paulson.
thing. Yeah, it's
That's
her.
okay. I don't know why I thought Kristen Wiig was in this movie too.
Kristen Wiig would have been the better character.
Oh, okay.
Because she's playing like this really uptight soccer mom.
Okay.
That still heists trucks, but for no reason, and has this huge garage filled with stuff that if she was married to a thinking family,
okay.
she has a son and a husband. I don't think there's any daughters at play, which is very important because the whole movie is built around men being idiots.
Okay.
Again, which is whatever. Like, that was the message they were trying to get through from the whole start of the movie. The only one character in the movie that's a dude that's not an idiot is Corden? James Corden?
Okay, James Corden's in it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't think he was... Did they even show him in the advertisements?
I don't know. But he's a hard-boiled insurance detective.
Okay, they definitely don't show him in the stuff at all.
Doesn't matter.
Which is strange because he's like Money in the Bank. Like, he's got a popular following. That's strange that they wouldn't show him.
But the whole movie, again, it's like...
I mean, it's still got, like, huge people. I mean, it's got Sandra Bullock. Yeah.
It's, like, probably the best modern actress around.
Yeah.
I would say. Cate Blanchett is amazing.
She is a great actress. And Sandra Bullock.
And Sandra Bullock is really good.
And what's her name? Catwoman's in this too.
Yeah, and Hathaway is great. Like that's why I live with those three, because they're amazing actresses, and that's why I gave this movie a fair shot.
Right.
And no.
I don't know, because it's kind of weird. Like, also, it's the Ocean's movies are like hit or miss. Kind of like some of them are good. Like the first one was a really good movie, but then like I think like the second
one's awful.
Second one was really weird. It's almost like I think Julia Roberts played herself playing a woman who was trying to pass herself off as Julia Roberts.
Let's say Tess.
Yeah.
Because that's her character's name.
Yeah.
See, I remember the characters from...
Yeah.
I remember Danny Ocean. I remember Tess. I remember Linus.
Which I thought maybe Julia Roberts would actually show up in this movie.
No.
No. Okay.
At the start of the movie... The implication is that Danny Ocean is dead.
Yeah.
In the start of the movie, when she gets out of prison...
They even show that, too. Like, she's sitting by like she's in a mausoleum or something like that.
Right, and she's looking at his thing, and then she says to him, you better be dead. So the thing is, he might not be dead.
Oh, okay.
And then the end of the movie, she's sitting there again, and you're like, oh, cool, he's going to show up, right? Because, let's give some credence to this movie. No.
Okay.
No, he doesn't show.
All right.
Spoiler alert, there's no George Clooney in this movie. They managed to get
Brad Pitt?
Carl Reiner.
Okay.
I believe, and Elliot Gould.
Okay.
It's 3 weeks and I've already blocked out half the movie.
Okay. You Justice League this movie?
It's bad.
Okay.
It's bad, and I don't remember any of their characters. I remember her last name is Ocean.
Okay.
The end.
And I don't think it really didn't make money.
No, because now Mindy Kaling and Cate Blanchett are going around blaming that on a different reason.
Yeah, which, whatever. They want to spin it however they want to spin it.
Just make a good movie. Yeah. Like, you got my money.
Yeah.
Right? I went there hoping to see a good movie.
Like a good heist movie.
Probably hoping more than expecting.
Yeah, you want a good heist movie.
Yeah.
Like, it's like actually, recent good heist movie, Ant-Man. Ant-Man was a good heist movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie. Or how about, you know what, blame it, because one of the other reasons they're saying it's not a success is that it's an all-women cast as the main stars.
No.
I saw that happen once, and I saw that movie make a ton of money. You know what that movie was?
What?
Charlie's Angels.
Yeah.
It was similar thematically, like they weren't thieves, they were spies, right? Is that what?
Well, I think they were like freelance, kind of like
mercenaries,
almost like private investigators, but like, I don't know, with I guess more action to it.
Yeah, it was stupid fun.
Yeah,
which is what an Ocean's movie should be.
Yeah,
pretty sure that most casinos don't let a SWAT team into their vault.
Yeah, that doesn't happen that way.
And you know, but this was very much. I would still say it's probably a tie between Ocean's 8 and Ocean's 12 was the worst one.
Okay.
But it's down there. And I don't think they'll make 2 more, so probably not the best idea to set up a trilogy again. Like we were talking about it earlier, but
we had a discussion about recently. I mean, we could talk about this just quickly. Recently, I can't remember his name at the moment, but the head of basically the DC movies, the lead guy, they're Kevin Feige of it all, said, you know, our new plan now, after the failure of Justice League, is to make good movies and not shared universe stuff. Like, that is kind of like an afterthought. Which, obviously, these characters are in a shared universe, which is fine. But first, make a good movie. Which is what you should do every time. I mean,
it should be the plan.
It should be the plan. The, you know, shoehorning in like stuff that you don't need in your movie should not be like the reason you make a movie. It should be like, let's make a good movie. If it ties into this other stuff, great. But it should stand on its own. Wonder Woman, perfect example, stood on its own. The first Iron Man movie, I can rewatch that movie 1,000 times because it was a good movie. It has nothing to do with I need to watch this one before I watch the Infinity War or anything like that. It was just a good movie. To
be honest, exclude Thor Ragnarok.
Right.
And the Avengers movies.
Right.
And every other MCU movie is a good movie on its own.
Yeah.
Right? Like, look at Ant-Man, Doctor Strange. Most of them don't have any overlap. And if it is, it's minimal.
It's minimal.
And they're solid films without it. Both Thors, like the original 2.
Yeah.
The only reason I would say Ragnarok is because, like, Hulk's in space.
Yeah.
And how does he get there? But everything else works on its own, and they're solid.
Oh, yeah.
They don't need to shoehorn in whatever.
Yeah. And honestly, because those other movies were good, when Thor Ragnarok comes around, where it's like, hey, we're going to throw a bunch of other stuff in that was like, if you hadn't seen these other things, you might not get. Like, oh, hey, there's a reason that Loki's afraid of the Hulk, because he smashed his face in the Avengers like a ragdoll. He just like, and like all those little jokes and like that kind of stuff. Like, yeah.
But that's just head nods. Like,
yeah.
That's nothing.
It's not really like the main crux of it all. It's like the very small part of it. It just like you enjoy it a little bit more because like, oh, I get that joke. It's still has funny parts anyways. But yeah, when you try to do weird shoehorn things in, stuff that doesn't really make sense to the plot, you get yourself a Justice League, which people just didn't enjoy. It was easily forgettable. It just wasn't as good as it could have been. Should just concentrate, make a good movie first, then worry about like all this other universe stuff.
I agree.
Yeah. So
Ocean's 8 was bad.
Ocean's 8 was bad. You would not recommend it.
I wouldn't, and it's a shame.
It is a shame because if you can't make a good movie with those powerhouse actresses, that is not their fault. That is your fault because you didn't write a good enough movie to begin with. They probably got attached because, honestly, Ocean's movies are big money. They were probably like, oh, it'll be good. We'll have all these other actresses. They probably got like, oh, we have, Sandra Bullock's on board, and I'm sure they got Kate Blanchett in there, and I'm sure they got Mindy Kaling in there. I'm sure they got all these other actresses in there. But when you don't have a solid movie, it doesn't matter who you got in it. Make a good movie. It's always gonna find its audience, whether now or later. A good movie will always be have its like. I know they're trying to make big money, but they could make decent money and still like have a life after the movie. Because then, if the movie was good, let's say it didn't do super, but it would probably make enough money, downloads and all that kind of stuff on iTunes, like later, that it would have enough of a fan base. If they did Ocean's 9, people would be like, oh, I like the first one they did, I want to see that again. That's kind of like, I just don't understand why they don't get that mentality.
Well, it's almost like they built a movie around some sort of social movement they wanted to create. It's the same problem that Ghostbusters had.
Well, Ghostbusters, I don't think it was that. I think that they threw that in later. I think they threw
it in like 6 months before the movie came out.
Yeah, because I think that there were some early criticisms of it. They kind of saw like a lot of things that were not going to be good movie, and then they kind of tried to turn it. But I've heard a lot of women critics who've seen it and have said like, no, it's like, don't try to turn this into, don't use the Me Too movement or women first kind of movement to support your bad movie. A lot of women critics are like, this was a bad movie. You took, you had the same kind of thing. You had 4 amazingly funny women who we know are amazingly funny, and you just had a bad movie you put them in. So
it was a problem because I saw the other movie that Kristen Wiig put out probably within a couple weeks of that one with Zach Galifianakis.
Oh yeah,
and it also had what's her name? Not Melissa McCarthy, but it had the other 2 in it.
Oh okay.
And I'm just blanking on their names right now. But the other 2 actresses from Ghostbusters were in this movie, and it was hilarious.
Yeah.
This movie was funny, and it had like no Masterminds. What's it called? Masterminds, I think.
I think so. Yeah.
It had no hype behind it.
Yeah.
It probably made no money because nobody bothered to advertise it.
Right.
And it probably made less money based on the fact that Ghostbusters was so bad.
Right.
But it was hilarious, so I know they're all funny.
Yeah, it's not like it's not like debatable. Like these, we know these people are funny. They know how to do they're good actors. It's just like you have to make a good product. You have to make a good movie.
It's not the director either, because look at Bridesmaids.
Bridesmaids was awesome,
and even Spy was really funny.
Oh yeah.
It's not a female cast. That's not the reason your movie's bad.
Yeah.
It's not your casting in general.
No.
It's the fact that you wrote a movie, and in my opinion, you wrote it as almost a middle finger to the fans.
Yeah.
That were vocal about not wanting the movie you were making.
Yeah.
And where's that going to get you? You've taken a property and probably ruined it for the next 20 years? What does that solve?
Exactly.
Why not make money? That's what you're in the business of.
Yeah. And honestly, it will be I don't think it'll be 20 years. They'll try to reboot that. I'm surprised they're not working on it.
It's tarnished now.
It is, but I think they will still try. Because it's, I thought they would wait a second for Spider-Man. They don't wait a second. They
no, it is Sony too.
Fantastic Four is the same thing. But now it's, they're, who knows? Sony is so weird with all their stuff. They're trying to make a Spider-Man universe without having Spider-Man in it, which is the strangest thing I've heard of.
The Venom thing?
The Venom, not only Venom, but a couple other movies that they're in the talks to make right now. I think other villain movies, but other characters too. Spider-Gwen might get a movie. It's they're definitely making that Spider-Verse movie, the animated one.
Which has her in it.
And other characters from the Spider-Verse, which I'm fine with if that's it looks interesting. I'm kind of for it. I'm just but it's an animated movie versus something that's live action. So I don't know how that's gonna go. But
the animation is a bit weird.
The animation is weird, but I kind of like it. It kind of like it fits. It has kind of like a weird comic book feel to it. Like they put in like the random like or those I don't know, like the dots that old comic books used to have. They have a little bit of that in there, which I mean that could just be like something they're kind of throwing in the style wise. They'll see like if people are really adverse from it, maybe they won't put in the second one, but it looks pretty solid.
Because if it's in effect, they could probably just take.
They probably could just take it out, but yeah, it doesn't look too bad. So we'll see how that one goes. But again, make a good movie, people can watch it, and then you can make your sequels and your Spider-Verse movies and all that stuff. I think Venom will be a good tell if that's going to keep going forward. If Venom's a bad movie, people aren't going to go see it. People are just going to turn on it. So that's our rant for making good movies rather than trying to make large universe movies. I think that's going to stop soon. I think people are going to be, honestly, like I figured with Justice League, that shared universe stuff done incorrectly is going to go away. So hopefully it's going to start like going a different direction. But who knows? They're making like 5 Joker movies. Who knows what they're going to do?
Close.
Yeah, I know.
That was a close one.
But speaking of DC characters, there was a little controversy. I don't know if anybody's been reading the new Batman that Tom King's been doing. I think it's Tom King, Mitch Gerard, I think Lee Weeks is in there, like a few other like really good artists. And what's her name?
Catwoman.
Well, Catwoman, but Joelle. What's her name? Joelle Jansen. I'm really sorry. You're an amazing artist, and I can't remember your name right now. But she's been killing it. She used to do a book for, I believe, Image called Lady Killers or Lady Killer, and it's that is also an amazing book. It's like about kind of like a 50s housewife kind of looking person who is basically a serial killer, and it's harsh. It's good, but don't show it to your kids.
That's
but
like
she's
Ocean's 8.
Don't show it to your kids. Yes, but for different reasons.
Yeah,
but
have them vomit.
But she's been doing an amazing job on Batman, and so the big controversy is the whole big Tom King run. He's been doing. I think he's going to do 100 issues. The middle part of it, he's up to issue 50, was the Batman. He's been building to the Batman Catwoman ending, and this is big spoilers here, which honestly the New York Times spoiled for everybody, which was I believe the headline was something Batman wedding not meant to be, and then they kind of go into the whole thing that happens. They don't tell. I don't think they say the very end, so I won't ruin that part of it. Sorry, I think I already ruined it for you.
That's okay.
Sorry.
I'll wait for the movie.
You wait for the movie?
But he's not Joker, so they probably won't make one.
Yeah. But the big thing was this whole 50-issue arc, building up to the Batman Catwoman wedding, the whole, like, could they make this work? It went through, like, a lot of their history, which is kind of interesting. Like, their, like, on-again, off-again relationship, and he decided, he was going to take that risk and get married and blah, blah, blah. And then it ends up that she leaves him at the altar. And, like, it was literally the day before the issue, I think, came out. I think there was the press release versions that they had been sent to the New York Times and other entities who do reviews on this stuff. But all those other people knew enough not to put it in the article before the actual issue came out. So, honestly, I don't know how negatively this just makes the New York Times look bad, but great publicity for the comic itself, because people are like, Batman wedding, what happened, blah, blah, blah. So, I think Tom King's been doing a great job. He's an amazing writer on this. I think he actually used to work for the CIA, which I think is incredibly interesting.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
The Bat CIA.
Bat CIA. But I think that the fact that they released it so, like, I think the fan base is really kind of taking it hard that like this was the big relaunch, and this also kind of spoils they relaunched Catwoman. They had been publishing for a while, so it was like the big thing of I gotta say her name is Joelle Jones, but I don't think it's. I think it's Jones. I think it's Joelle Jones. But she was taking over doing the new Catwoman. So that, I guess, like everybody figured it was going to be. It is Joelle Jones.
Mm-hmm.
She was going to take over doing Catwoman, and people thought it was going to be like a Batman Catwoman, about their relationship or whatever. But now it seems like it's about her leaving Batman at the altar. So that kind of ruins that for some people too, who are getting that first issue or whatever. But I think this is interesting because it's a weird thing of how our pop culture has kind of changed things. Like, you can be bad in a newspaper for printing a story too early about and spoiling like a TV show or a movie or like a comic issue that you've been waiting for. So I don't know how to really like explain, like, I mean, the writer, he's like a good writer and stuff like that. I don't know if it was really his fault. I think it was more of the New York Times not paying attention and not waiting that extra day that they should have when they were like, Batman's wedding is off or blah blah blah. So it's just like an interesting thing in our culture that like major newspapers are spoiling comic book issues and people are taking like huge death threats to the New York Times and stuff over it, which is just like, you ruined it, blah blah blah. Like, but it's a comic book. It's the midpoint in his run, so he's still got 50 more issues of that. I'm sure there's much bigger things on the way that I'm sure he's doing.
I understand some of the anger because it's 4 years, right? It's
a
monthly comic.
It's a monthly comic.
So it's 4 years and 2 months.
Yeah.
And I'd be upset if I'd been reading something for 4 years and it was spoiled for me a day early.
Yeah.
Right? That's gross.
It is.
Especially if I'm that guy who's there every day, or every week, or every month. On comic book release day.
Yeah. Which is every Wednesday.
I knew it wasn't Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Because I think most comic book stores are closed on Tuesdays.
They are. I think that is like a thing that they're closed on Tuesdays most of the time. And that's so they get time to set up for Wednesday.
Yeah, of course, because it's not easy.
No. Because you pretty much have to shift everything to make room.
Yeah.
But yeah. But so that's one thing that had happened this week. You saw another movie.
I did. I'll make it quick.
And this is a movie we shouldn't spoil for you because it's been out for a while. Even I think it's been out on DVD and downloadable for a while too.
Probably, yeah, like 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, I saw it in the theaters, and I think we talked about it briefly. Happy Death Day.
I think we talked about it near the beginning of, when we first started doing the podcast.
Yep, and you finally seen it.
I finally saw it because I think it was the same podcast where we talked about Blade Runner.
Yes. And now I saw Blade Runner last week.
Tim finally saw it. I should watch Happy Death Day, so I lived up to my end of the unspoken bargain.
Yeah. Well, now I have to go watch both Sicarios. So.
Oh, well, I'm going to have to watch Shape of Water then.
Okay. You haven't seen Shape of Water? I thought you had seen it. Oh, man.
The fish tomfoolery.
Yes.
But Happy Death Day.
Happy Death Day.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, it was pretty good. I know you really liked it a lot. I definitely knew who it was right away. Like, I knew who the killer was.
Which, I mean, honestly, it was interesting to kind of see that, but I was more interested, I think, probably in why she kept repeating her days.
Which was just to find out who the killer was.
Well, I think there was that, but also that she could. I think it's almost that same thing of the movie it pretty much copies, which is Groundhog's Day. With she kind of had to have her like perfect day in a way, and basically learn a big lesson.
But she had her perfect day the day before, and then she died.
Right. But yeah, that's
and
true.
then it happened again.
Right.
I really you're trying to give this movie a morality, and I don't think it had it.
Not a little bit.
The big
she
solution.
Changes.
She does murder somebody.
Yes, but she also kind of changes from. She kind of goes from being like this mean girl, from a sorority or whatever, and basically kind of changes things, patches up things.
Arc, yeah.
Patches things up with her dad. There's like acknowledgments about her mom, like and there's other stuff in there too. But yeah. So did you like it?
I thought it was okay. Yeah, it was pretty good. I didn't think it was like the greatest movie I've ever seen or even the greatest horror, but it was fun. Apparently it's not the worst Blumhouse movie.
Which is the worst Blumhouse
They had
movie?
one that came out, Truth or Dare. That's apparently the worst thing they've ever produced.
I saw a trailer for that, and I really didn't have an interest in it. I was like, no, Truth or Dare is not a game that kills you. I think that was kind of like they were trying to...
No, it's a demon. I really want to watch it. Because I feel like I need to see both ends of the spectrum with this production studio.
Okay.
Because I've seen their really good stuff.
Right.
Like The Gift.
Okay.
And most of Get Out, which I still haven't finished.
Okay.
I should at some point. But the fact that it was spoiled for me makes me never want to finish it. And then, like, I'd like to see their worst film.
Okay.
I'd like to see the movie that makes them probably not any money. Because I don't think anybody saw that.
No, I don't think so. But then again, I didn't see any major actors in it.
No, it was just kids. It probably cost them $40.
Exactly.
And that's what makes them so successful. It's the same thing that, like, the reason Seth Rogen and Judd Apatow were doing so well with those comedies is because the comedies were costing them $4 million.
Exactly.
And they were killing it with, like, $250 million.
Exactly. Like, they were making huge money on, like, with nothing. I mean, they had knocked up 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Superbad.
Superbad
was massive.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. There was another one in there, too, that I can't think of right now.
They had the Adam Sandler one. Where he's
Funny People.
Dying, Funny People, yeah, and then there's This Is 40.
This Is 40.
I think that was the other Apatow. But then the ones they produced, like the one with Owen Wilson. I think it was Owen Wilson. Drillbit Taylor, was it?
Yeah.
Like, and they just produced a bunch of movies.
Oh, yeah.
And they just made a fortune off those because you put an Apatow production on it and it's going to make money.
Right. People were going to see it even if it was bad or good.
Which was the same thing for, what's his name, that made Paul Feig, right? That made like Bridesmaids and all until Ghostbusters. Like,
right.
I would have watched anything Paul Feig made because he was making really solid comedies.
He was making really good stuff.
Anyway, I don't know how I got to that, but yeah, Happy Death Day. It was fun.
Okay.
My favorite part was, of course, the montage.
Yeah, of all the ways she died.
Well, of the way she died and attempted to not die.
Yes.
I thought they were very funny.
Yeah, they were pretty funny. And I have one of my favorite parts is where she's at like the party with a guy who he's very into raves.
Yeah. He starts dancing.
He starts dancing and like there's all this like weird, like at first it seems like they're making out and like there's gonna be some like weird sex thing, and then he just starts like flips on these lights and stuff and it becomes like a weird rave thing, and I'm just like, okay, didn't see that coming.
Yep.
Yeah, but it becomes fun. But yeah, I like the movie. It's a fun movie. It's not a serious movie. Like, even Groundhog Day itself is like, you kind of like, don't take this as like some serious kind of comedy. It's a good movie. It's just fun.
I agree.
Yeah.
I also don't know what without spoiling it too much, I don't know what the switch is that makes the killer attempt to change so rapidly their method of murder.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's just that...
The reason is that other thing is happening at the same time.
Yes.
That one person showed up.
Yeah.
But that's a very different type of murder. It
is. It's... without getting too much into it, there is like a way that she almost dies, but that's not the way that she consistently dies in the movie.
Yeah, no, she dies very differently every other time.
Yeah, and honestly, we don't know if every time is the one killer or the other thing. So, but yeah, but it's a good movie. Go see it. It's definitely worth checking out. Probably the last thing we're going to finish up with, Luke Cage season 2 just came out on Netflix. Well, not just came out. I think it's been out like maybe a week and a half. And you have not started.
I have not started. I still have to finish Punisher.
Oh, okay. Well, finish Punisher, of course.
Someday.
Did
I miss a Jessica Jones season?
Yes.
So I have to watch Punisher, Jessica Jones, then Lucas Kagi.
Yes, Lucas Kagi, or it's Luke Cage as we call him. But honestly, like I saw Jessica Jones the other season, Jessica Jones. It doesn't really connect into Luke Cage.
You're trying to force me to skip it.
No, you don't have to. But I'm saying they do reference things like that happen with other people, and other characters do show up.
Punisher?
And it's the same kind of thing with
Does
Luke.
Punisher show up?
I won't say.
Oh, Punisher shows up. I'm in.
And Jessica Jones?
Is he in Jessica Jones? Did you just spoil that?
No.
Yeah, you did.
No, he doesn't show up.
I'm watching all the seasons.
He doesn't show up. But Luke Cage does have some people show up from some Defenders and so forth. Like a lot of it's like his cast that were in the first season, but it's good. It's a very heavy crime drama, and it definitely takes its time getting there. It does have some great, I think, character pieces into it. But there's parts in this that I was just like, well, that fix like Iron Fist I was not the biggest fan of, but when he's in this season of Luke Cage, I think they kind of realized what they were kind of going wrong with, and they fixed some stuff. So he shows up for, I think, like an episode and a half or something like that. But it's good, but the direction that they're going in, like I was excited after the first season of Luke Cage. I'm more excited after where this ends with Luke Cage. It is such a different thing. I was just like, this is... I don't know what they're going to do for season 3, but I'm really excited for it. Like,
so I have to watch like 25 hours of television is what you're telling me.
Exactly, I'm telling you. Like, not a lot of people, like Jessica Jones doesn't show up or anything like that. They do mention the stuff from the Defenders a little bit, but it's mostly, again, a Harlem story, a really good, like, well-written crime drama kind of story. And I think this is... I loved it more than the first season. Where it ends, the last, like, I think, like, 4 episodes are just amazing. Like, it's... Like, every actor, nobody phones it in. It just does an amazing job. But I won't ruin it. I'll wait till you watch it, and we will talk about it when you do.
Yeah, we could do like a Marvel or television universe cast.
Because I don't think they're ever going to cross that over with the movies.
Probably not.
I think it's better that way. I mean, they talk about stuff that happens in the movies, but I don't think they'll cross. I don't think Infinity War is going to affect, at least as far as I know, like anything that's going to happen with them.
Here's the question I have for you.
Mm-hmm.
How much more are they allowed to do?
Netflix.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I think they signed a long-term... That's the thing. They signed, I think, a long-term deal with Netflix on that.
So I don't lose my Punisher season 2.
I don't think so. I think
it has to happen, right?
Right. And the way they're shaping up, it's like they're keeping it going. They're obviously... I don't know, Netflix is paying them enough or whatever they're getting from it. I mean, because they have enough other TV like series now. They have The Runaways. They have Cloak and Dagger. They have Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like, they could walk away from some of these, but like every season of Jessica, like they've already announced another season of Jessica Jones. They're going to start filming soon.
Are they doing more Daredevil?
I think so, because this doesn't spoil anything. Foggy shows up in Luke Cage. And they reference Karen Page, so I think they're going to keep moving forward with the Netflix shows. It seems that way. They might even do another Defenders, maybe, because I mean, if Iron Fist is showing up, and they've talked about doing another season of Iron Fist, so
people are watching it.
Yeah, so
it's just not me.
Yeah, but I mean, and Punisher was so successful. I'm sure they'll keep going.
Oh
Yeah,
Oh,
and they should,
yeah.
and they should. But yeah, I'm excited to see where season 3 is going to go. I mean, season 2 was so good. I want another. I definitely think they should have another season of Luke Cage, and I'm sure they are. It just seems like they definitely geared it up for another one.
Nice.
But worth watching. It is going to take, like, it does take its time to get there. Just let it go. It's kind of like it moves at a slow pace. It moves at its own pace, but it's a really good like crime story and a Harlem story. So
I'm excited.
Yeah, definitely watch it.
To watch it in 6 months.
Yeah. Right after I watch both Sicarios.
First, Hardcore Henry.
That's right. And as always, we're gonna end it here. So we'll catch you next week. If you want to find me, I'm on at Instagram at Tim Martinek, and Bob is on the Twitters
At Martin MARTON_Bob.
And if you want to check out anything or have us check anything out, you can always email us. We're on iTunes, Spreaker, and Stitcher. You can find us at Precarious Pixels, and if you want to message us, it's hashtag Precarious Pixels.
Tonight we were recording live from the 3rd level of hell.
That's right. It's completely dark in this room.
It's also 1,000 degrees.
Yes, it's definitely summertime. But always keep creating, do your own stuff, and maybe we'll be talking about you on here one day. Okay? So bye, guys. Catch you next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye. To do a little redesigning with us, you can find Bob at Martin, MARTON_BOB, on Twitter, and you can find me on Instagram at Tim Martinek, all one word, TIMMARTINEC. And you can join in us, have some fun, do your redesigns for this week's redesign. It's a lot of fun for us to do this, but we like to see fresh ideas and fresh artists like doing what they do as well. You can also hashtag it Precarious Pixels and we'll find it as well.